Kris Krohn here with REI TV. Today we are talking about perception. We're talking about your projections. We're talking about how you alter your perceptions so that you can step into the world that you want. So here's the deal. Your perception, my perception, we've got all of these different possibilities of what we could be perceiving, but the reality is you and I, we're programmed to only understand and see very, very little. How little? Well, Bruce Lipton, he's a very well-known STEM biologist, and in his stem cell research, one of the things that he has scientifically shown is that in every second, you and I, we are perceiving 20 million bits of information, meaning our eyes, window of the soul, can take in 20 million pieces of information in a second. However, we can actually only consciously take in 4,000 of those bits. So think about that, 20 million all the way down to 4,000, but of the 4,000, guess what? We're actually only able to compute and process 40. So 20 million possibilities, bits of information gets rooted down to this tiny little bit. If I were to show you a picture of what that looks like, it's that here's a picture of our mind and our perception, and all these little dots are part of these 20 million bits of information. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with this little red guy, I'm going to show you what 40 of 20 million looks like. You ready? There you go. Oh wait, you can't see it. Let me exaggerate a little bit. Okay, point is that we only take in very, very little bit of the information that's available to us. So the question is, what are we perceiving? Of all the information, what are we drawn to? Well, the subconscious mind is so powerful, and what we're drawn to are the most positive and the most negative experiences of our life that really generated our belief system. We talk about changing perception. There's only one way to do that. You need to change your beliefs, because ultimately, for example, maybe growing up 9 years old, high tops were the thing in, and I saw all of my friends and I loved watching them pump them up. You remember those back in the whatevers, the 90s? And all of a sudden I ask mom, hey, for my birthday I want a pair of high tops, and mom says, oh, we can't afford that. Now that's just a comment in the moment that she makes, but maybe as a child I had my heart set on having these high tops, and right there, the thing that I desired, I thought was the most important thing I could possibly have at that age. And mom says no. There's an opportunity right here, because this is a huge emotional letdown. I could perceive it as a rejection. And what's my takeaway message? Well, I could say, there's not enough money. Mom doesn't love me. I don't ever get what I want. I'm not important. And I have no idea what you're going to decide, but you're going to decide something. And as a child with this unfinished brain, we haven't developed abstract and rational thinking and all these things. What we do naturally is we go through childhood and we collect and create, by virtue of choice, very unaware to us, thousands of these limiting beliefs that ultimately ruin our life. What they do is they rule all of our possibilities. And so of all the 20 million bits of information, what am I really connecting with? The things that are driven in my perception are ultimately ruled by my limiting beliefs and also my limitless beliefs. And the question is, what beliefs do you have roaming around upstairs financially, in your relationships, in your health, and ultimately getting where you want to go in life? The most powerful way to alter your perception is by creating an awareness of the beliefs that aren't serving you and replacing them with beliefs that would. I call them limiting beliefs and limitless beliefs. So what are the beliefs that will serve you? So in this perception world, what I would do is I would get really clear with the 4 domains of limitless living. In my health, my wealth, my connection, and personal power. Everything is circumscribed into those 4 domains. And take a look at wealth. What are your beliefs that limit you in money? And take an hour and meditate and write them down. And what are the beliefs that limit you in your relationships? What are the beliefs that limit you in your personal power or your health? And when you get really clear with what's in your perception about how you do life like that, only then do you have the power to change it. And you change it the same way you created your garbage in the first place, the power of choice. This time, however, instead of making choices that produce beliefs that limit you, you get to make choices that produce beliefs that free you, that liberate you, that remove the conditions, the boundaries that you've set that hold you back in your life. Here's a perfect case in point. Are you the type of person that has some people in your life that like you and some that don't, and you're not at peace with that? Well, guess what? Guess who the common denominator is? It's you. We're the common denominator. So if something's not working in your life, All problems are in our perception. A perception without problems is a problem-free life. So look for the problems that you have in your relationships with people. And if you're the common denominator, what are the beliefs? People should do what I say. People should take my advice. People should tell me they love me. What are those beliefs? And then evaluate them. If they don't serve you, get those out of your perception. How do you do that? By shifting them, turning into something powerful and beautiful. One that resonates with your highest and best self. A powerful present tense statement that allows you to exit out of those beliefs and replace them. People are free to love me or hate me. I love people no matter what. I step into a space of unconditional love. I accept people for where they're at. Good choices, bad choices, whatever. Those beliefs are more empowering. Do you see how they feel lighter? Do you see how they feel better? You want to alter your perception? It's real simple. Take the time to self-introspect on the ideas that aren't serving. I'll give you one last bonus session here. The best way to do that is through your intuition. If you can just get yourself, dedicate time to sit and breathe. I always recommend that you close your eyes and breathe deeply, even though I hardly do that because it's become so second nature and I don't like to bump into the things when I'm walking around. But give yourself some space to just sit down, breathe, quiet space, empty your mind, and then ask these questions. How am I held back in my wealth? And ponder on that and write that down. How am I held back in my relationships? And that little bonus that I'm giving you, this idea of living by your intuition, will get you to where you want to be versus the logical mind that only knows what you currently know and can only get you more of what you've gotten. And you are watching this video because you don't want more of what you've gotten. You want to step into a world of abundance where new things can come in that don't exist. Alter that perception. Take the time, do the work. Your perception is yours. No one can change it for you. Only one can. Who is it? That's right. If you want to become an expert at turning your perception into a honing beacon for the things in life that you really do want, then come spend 3 days with us at our Limitless breakthrough event and learn how to become a master at altering your perception to serve you and your higher good.